There are cars that people drive every day without giving them a second thought. And then there are cars that become something far greater than just a machine. They become symbols of freedom, power, identity, and a certain way of life. The 1967 Ford Mustang belongs to that rare category. It wasn't just built to move people from one place to another. It was built to make them feel something every time they turned the key. Even today, decades later, the sound of its engine and the sight of its aggressive stance still have the power to stop people in their tracks. But to truly understand why this car became such a legend, we have to go back to a time when the world was very different and the automotive industry was on the edge of a revolution. In the early 1960s, the American car market was dominated by large, heavy vehicles designed primarily for families. These cars were comfortable, spacious, and reliable, but they lacked excitement. At the same time, a new generation was coming of age. Young people were beginning to shape culture in ways never seen before. They wanted independence, self-expression, and something that reflected their personality. The cars available at the time simply didn't match that energy. Automakers noticed this shift, but it was Ford that decided to act on it in the boldest way possible. They wanted to create a car that was affordable yet stylish, compact yet powerful, and most importantly, exciting to drive. When the first Mustang was introduced in 1964, it changed everything almost overnight. The car was an instant success, attracting attention from all over the country. People were drawn to its sporty design, long hood and short rear deck. It looked fast even when it was standing still. But as successful as the early Mustang was, Ford understood that staying ahead meant constantly evolving. The competition was getting stronger and customer expectations were rising. People wanted more power, more performance, and a design that looked even more aggressive. This demand led to the creation of the 1967 Mustang, a car that would take everything people loved about the original and amplify it to a whole new level. The 1967 Mustang was not just a minor update, it was a complete transformation. The car grew in size, becoming wider and more muscular. The design was reworked to give it a stronger and more dominant presence on the road. The front grille became more pronounced, the body lines sharper, and the overall stance more aggressive. It was clear from the moment you looked at it that this was not just another car, it was a statement. It was designed to stand out, to command attention, and to reflect the bold personality of its driver. Under the hood, the changes were even more significant. Ford introduced more powerful engine options, including the legendary 390 cubic inch Y8 engine. This engine brought a level of performance that transformed the Mustang into a true muscle car. The acceleration was thrilling, the sound was unforgettable, and the driving experience was unlike anything most people had experienced before. Pressing the gas pedal wasn't just about increasing speed, it was about unleashing raw power. It created a connection between the driver and the machine that felt almost alive, as if the car itself had a personality. The interior of the 1967 Mustang also reflected this focus on the driver. While the car remained affordable, it didn't feel basic. The dashboard design was clean and functional, with everything positioned in a way that made driving intuitive and enjoyable. The seats were comfortable, the materials were improved, and the overall layout gave the driver a sense of control. It was a space where performance and comfort came together, allowing drivers to fully immerse themselves in the experience of the road. What truly set the 1967 Mustang apart, however, was not just its design or performance, but its impact on culture. This car arrived during a time of massive change. The late 1960s were filled with energy, rebellion, and a desire to break away from tradition. Music was evolving, fashion was changing, and young people were redefining what it meant to live freely. The Mustang fit perfectly into this environment. It became more than just a car, it became a symbol of that freedom. Owning a Mustang meant being part of something bigger. It meant embracing a lifestyle that valued individuality and expression. Hollywood played a huge role in cementing the Mustang's legendary status. The car appeared in films that showcased its speed, power, and style. One of the most iconic moments came from the movie Bullitt, where actor Steve McQueen drove a modified Mustang through the streets of San Francisco in a high-speed chase that is still considered one of the greatest in cinematic history. That scene wasn't just entertaining, it was unforgettable. It showed the Mustang in its element, pushing its limits and proving that it was more than capable of delivering performance under pressure. Another reason the 1967 Mustang became so popular was its versatility. It wasn't limited to one type of driver. For some, it was a stylish daily car that turned heads wherever it went. For others, it was a powerful machine built for speed and performance. And for enthusiasts, it was a platform for customization. People modified their Mustangs, upgraded their engines, changed their appearance, and made them truly unique. This ability to personalize the car helped build a deep emotional connection between the Mustang and its owners. As the years went on, the automotive industry began to change. New regulations, fuel efficiency concerns, and shifting consumer preferences started to reshape what people wanted in a car. The era of muscle cars began to decline, and manufacturers had to adapt to survive. The Mustang itself went through many changes, sometimes moving away from its original identity. But despite all these changes, the legacy of the 1967 model remained strong. It continued to represent a time when cars were built with a focus on emotion, performance, and bold design. Today, the 1967 Ford Mustang is considered one of the most iconic cars ever created. It is highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts around the world. Restored models are showcased at car events, admired for their beauty and historical significance. Seeing one on the road today is like stepping back in time. It reminds us of an era when driving was more than just a routine activity. It was an experience filled with excitement, passion, and a sense of freedom. What makes the 1967 Mustang truly timeless is the emotional connection it creates. It's not just about the specifications or the performance numbers. It's about how the car makes people feel. It represents a moment in history when possibility seemed endless and the open road felt like an invitation to explore. Even in a world filled with modern cars, packed with advanced technology, the Mustang stands out because it offers something that technology cannot replicate. It offers soul. The story of the 1967 Ford Mustang is ultimately a story of boldness. It shows what can happen when a company takes a risk and listens to what people truly want. It demonstrates the power of design, the importance of performance, and the value of creating something that resonates on an emotional level. This car didn't just meet expectations, it exceeded them in ways that no one could have predicted. Even today, the Mustang name continues to live on, evolving with new generations while still honoring its roots. Modern versions may look different and include advanced features, but the spirit of the original remains. That spirit was defined by cars like the 1967 Mustang, which captured the essence of what it means to drive with passion. In the end, the 1967 Ford Mustang is more than just a car. It is a legend that represents a golden era in automotive history. It is a reminder that sometimes the most impactful creations are those that connect with people on a deeper level. It shows us that a car can be more than transportation. It can be a symbol, a memory, and a piece of history that continues to inspire long after its time. And that is why, even after all these years, the 1967 Mustang is not just remembered, it is celebrated. Because some cars may fade away with time, but legends like this are built to last forever.